Men are being arrested for being alone in their homes.
It's a terrifying moment as a SWAT team bursts in.
There were people 5 feet away from me with guns and rifles.
It happened to Mike Stack, a conservative blogger.
Men are being arrested for being alone in their homes. Why are men being arrested for being alone in their homes? Guys, I had no idea just how prominent the situation was until I began doing research for this video. Watch to the end of the video to find out why men are being arrested for being alone in their homes and the implications it's going to have on the greater of society. So let's just go ahead and continue watching this video.
SWAT team surrounded Stack's home. Stack showed Arlisa Guerrero how he was dragged from his home in the middle of the night.
Mike, were you afraid that you could have lost your life that night?
I believe I probably could have lost my life.
Jordan Mathewson is another victim.
Put your hands behind your back.
He was playing a computer game when the SWAT team burst in. Now, in Wichita, Kansas, a father of 2 was gunned down by a police officer.
Show your hands! Walk this way!
It's what authorities feared would happen. The tragic death of an innocent.
Now, guys, you might say, well, what does this have to do with men being arrested for being alone in their homes? Well, this is much more than this, all right? Because we're moving towards an era where law enforcement, the state, wants to just be able to enter into your home at any given time to search your electronics, to surveil you, and to keep you under continuous surveillance for the rest of your life. This is the dream, and that's been what they've been pushing for a very long time. We've talked about what's also happening with the gaming industry right now, because this ties in to squatting. A lot of these people who are getting squatted are gamers, but also it's not just gamers. They're also people like conservative bloggers. Of course, guys, you're going to say, oh, now I'm beginning to see the pattern here. Why do they want to monitor men? All right, they want to monitor men who are possibly discussing how society works. Why are things happening? Gathering knowledge. They're very afraid of men just having conversations with one another and exploring different topics related to humanity, society, and finance, of course. So they want to keep these men under constant surveillance. They are now surveilling men. They're arresting men for just watching YouTube videos. They're surveilling the kinds of videos that you're watching on YouTube. Even if they're simply innocent videos, they don't care. They're going to Google and saying, hand over the information of these tens of thousands of men, their home addresses, their names, their watch history, their search history, their emails, everything that you have on them, and so that we can monitor them, and that's it. And you think they're going to delete this information? Absolutely not. They're going to keep it stored, so at any given point, they can find something to use on you to enter into your home. They're gathering information on men so that they can blackmail us. They're monitoring what we say in video games, and they've been doing it for years. This is nothing new. They've been monitoring men in video games for years, but now they're using this. They're compiling this information so that they can use it to punish men, to arrest men for very, very simple things. And it's gone extremely far. They're not simply monitoring you, just for the risk of saying something like that could potentially cause problems for others. Oh no, for climate change denial, pro-life, animal rights. You heard me right. So basically, if you say things in games that do not align, in online chats that do not align with these things, okay, or anti-government rhetoric, any of these things could now result in you being arrested, your information being handed over, and you being monitored by the 3-letter law enforcement agencies, them busting into your home whenever they feel like it, seizing all of your electronics and saying that they'll find something to charge you with. All right? They will find something to charge you with. That's the reality that we now live in. And of course, women don't realize that if there's no liberty for men, eventually there will be no liberty for them. They do not have special rights. They do not have rights. They have special privileges that can be taken away at any time. Men have special punishments. Women have special rights. Women have special privileges. But guess what? They are not rights. They are privileges, and they can be taken away at any time. And women do not comprehend this. So even though men are losing their rights rapidly, or are being punished for everything and anything, women don't understand that they have privileges, not rights.
The bearer of bad news, but the federal government just said that they're going to be spying on you playing video games to combat extremism. It seems the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are going to be partnering with gaming companies to fight extremist gamers. Government accountability office.
They did this after 9/11 too.
says that the FBI and DHS should use the same strategy that allowed them to police extremism on social media to regulate the gaming industry. And the Anti-Defamation League, super reputable, says that 20% of adult gamers and 15% of kids playing games report being exposed to white supremacy while gaming. What constitutes extremism? You may ask. Racially or ethnically motivated violence, anti-government or
abortion, animal rights,
or environmental
what
extremism.
The fuck?
You're pro-life, apparently. And all other domestic terrorism threats, which the FBI has already said includes going to church on Sunday.
Okay, guys, do you see? So, going to church on Sunday, that could result in you being monitored. If you say that climate change isn't real, that could result in you being monitored. If you are pro-life, that could result in you being monitored. Do you see where we're going with this? If you say anything that they deem anti-government, that could result in you being monitored.
Sunday. This is super constitutional.
That's crazy. I want.
I've said this plenty of times. We do not have rights. We have privileges that can be taken away at any time. And people do not understand this. Okay? We do not have rights. We have privileges. George Carlin talked about this. He said, read that Constitution very, very carefully. That's not a Bill of Rights. That's a Bill of Privileges that they can snatch away from you at any given moment. And people have to wake up and understand these facts. It's a sad reality we live in, but it's a reality that we live in. And we have to be aware of it, and we have to be alert to it. This is why so many men are going their own way right now and choosing to live separate lives from relationships and society, and just, and basically be happy at home. Or men walking away from relationships, toxic environments, and saying, you know what, I'm happy by myself. And it's not that these men are separatists, it's just that they cannot be bothered anymore. So they want to monitor these men now, because these men are leaving society. Men increasingly are pushed out of society. They're pushed out of all public spaces. They were pushed out of coffee shops. Once upon a time, coffee shops were places that men would go. Bookstores were places that men would go. They've been pushed out of these places. Gyms, places that men would go. They've been pushed out of these places. Heck, you can't even go to the laundromat anymore without having to worry that someone's going to say something. Hence, men are now basically avoiding society in and of itself. They'll wash their clothes at home. They'll cook at home. They'll eat at home. They'll work out at home. They'll watch movies at home. They'll stay inside. And that's it. They'll work from home. And the women are like, oh, where are all the men? Where have all the men gone? You push them out of society, ladies. And guess what? They operate based on feelings, not facts. So no matter what you say to them, they will never be able to comprehend it, because it's going to be like, do not compute, because this does not align with my feelings. Hence, this information is not valid. Hence, we need to ignore this information. It's as simple as that. Disregard this information. Because women process feelings, they don't process facts. The only time that they look at feelings is after their feelings betray them, and it has led to some serious implications in their life, massive consequences, and now they're like, okay, well, my feelings betrayed me. I should have looked at looking at the facts, I screwed up. Oh, well, I cannot do anything about it, because it's all about the feels. It's all about the feels. You have to remember that women thrive in chaos, okay? Women spend so much of their lives in a crisis that they thrive in chaos. For them, chaos is fun. Chaos is exciting. They love chaos. And this is the thing. Men are sick and tired of chaos. Men do not want chaos. Men want peace. Women are like, oh, we just want our peace. They don't want peace. Women are more derived for pleasure. And within chaos and turmoil, they find pleasure in these things, because they get to pick and choose from the winners. All right? Because there's a lot of fighting that happens during this period of time, and then they get to pick and choose from the winners. It's a very sick and sadistic thing that occurs, but it is the reality that we live in, unfortunately, and we have to be consciously aware of this. Where does this all lead to? Men being arrested in their homes, being arrested for being alone in their homes. This is only going to push more men out of the society, more men out of the country, more men away from the world. And, and women are not going to have, come 2030s, 45% of women are going to be childless and single, and, that's just single women, that's just single women. That doesn't count single women with children, single mothers. Then when you do that, we're talking about 70 to 80% of women. So the future for women is not looking very good. There's going to be a lot of consequences. And the answer to our question is simple. It's going to create more problems and disparities for women because the economy is going downhill. The government cannot subsidize the living of women, and men are realizing that they can survive and thrive if they don't get married or have children. They keep all of that money to themselves. They get to work fewer hours, and they get to invest and relax as their money grows and their health gets better. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, consider checking out and subscribing to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Men are being arrested for being alone in their homes. Let me know what you guys think regarding this, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.